Hello, everyone, and welcome to
Howdy.
Blades in the Dark, where we do stuff in the dark with blades.
It's very dangerous. Disclaimer, do not try this at home.
Do not try this at home. Andrew's face is immediately like, oh god, this is what it's gonna be like tonight? Okay.
That's your description.
That's your description.
John Harper's award-winning story game Blades in the Dark, in which you do stuff in the dark.
With blood.
Blades. Name says it all.
It's a
Yeah,
good
that's all you want. That's all you want. So, you want to take it over for me there, Sean?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Before I run this train fully, just fully into the ground before we even start.
Fine, fine. Are we more than what we leave behind? Cross muses solemnly as she comes upon the body in an alley. A pauper woman, judging by her clothes. Crow's foot continues to live up to its name. The place is thick with them. She nods to the bird perched upon the woman's corpse and crouches down, tenderly lifting the body in her arms as the crow takes wings, its duty complete. In Brightstone, Andrew Kinclaith looks in the mirror and draws a razor down his cheek. Just outside his window, he hears a caw. A crow perches on the sill for a moment, regarding him before it flies off. The razor clatters to the floor, and he is standing as the servant enters his room to tell him what he already knows. Somewhere in the crow's nest, Belle awakens from troubled dreams. It is dark, and not for the first time they are afraid. It is quiet outside the small cell. Belden said it was for Belle's own protection, that the firebirds were dangerous and not to be trusted. But Belle worries about Lissa, and that dark gleam in her eyes whenever the crow's leader looks their way. Unfinished business. That's what Belle is to her. And meanwhile, down in the docks comes an explosion that rocks the district. Welcome to the 7th session of John Harper's Blades in the Dark.
Explosion.
I don't know where that's from.
Who did that? It was me. I would never do that.
Ever. What are we doing, people? So for those of you who may be catching up at the home game, and just like a slight recap, the last thing the Firebirds did was more or less exorcise a ghost from your lair, the one from the bridge.
Yeah. It went great.
Oh yeah, it went fine.
I totally forgot to unmute myself during that whole section where I was talking to you.
Oh,
Good job, me. I'm back. All right. So,
Well, it's a good thing we paraphrased all the stupid shit you said so that you couldn't find it. Professionalism.
This is just my day today. Like, this is just
We
my
love
day.
you.
I started out. I just realized I didn't ask any of you how you are before this even
It's
started.
because you don't care.
And we start. I do care. I care deeply, but I just was like, I'm already running this thing into the ground. Quickly, Sean, take it from me. So
we're doing well, I think.
good.
We're in high spirits.
Good.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that. Yes.
Maybe we'll touch upon this when we come back from break. But for the time being, what have we got? All right, so yeah, you had exorcised the ghost. Rubik's had a vision from the ghost that she was somehow involved with Rourke, the former leader of the Crows, and the both of them were killed while traveling by a carriage to the docks. And sometime during this process, off screen, Belle was found by the Crows and taken. And word has reached Croak.
And I'm real sad about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to talk to my shitty ex-girlfriend
Yep.
who doesn't understand me.
I once again forgot to unmute myself. I'm the best.
I did the stakeout, of the crow's nest to try to gather some information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you get some info on like their patrol patterns, and like who comes in and who comes out. And lately you found some gaps because of their issues with the red sashes. You know, they've had some kind of quiet conflicts with them over the past several weeks. And it's definitely been a thorn in their side. So some of their efforts are going toward that. They don't seem to be expecting you.
Hmm.
So
And so,
what you're saying is strike hard and strike fast, right?
yeah, so Croak comes to the crew with a plan
Okay.
to steal from the crows. We're gonna go in there and rob them of various important resources, maybe some persons of interest, you know, but mostly
What?
money.
What?
So,
What kind of stuff specifically are we talking about, Croak?
um,
Look, I'm all for stealing and taking enemy treasuries and the like, but as it currently stands, I feel like the red sashes or slashes are
Sashes.
Sashes.
sashes. I got it right the first time. I feel like the red sashes have that under control, really.
yes, well, if we were to eliminate the crows from
Vigorously
Crow's
hug
Foot,
them!
surely there would be money in it for us. Perhaps a bounty from the Red Sashes. Perhaps new territory that we might take over. At the very least, they've got it coming.
They do. They were in rough shape to begin with after our last assault against them.
I don't like leaving loose ends.
Neither do I.
Haunt us.
Yeah, Cricket, buddy.
Sure. You want to rob the crows? I guess if we take from them, then nobody else can, which means that we'll have their stuff rather than somebody else having their stuff that we'll have to deal with later. But the issue is, can we? I mean, they got that big building that's pretty tall. Like, how are we getting in there?
Well, I'm glad you asked. And I like pull out this little. I have like the plan, you
The
know.
play. All right. So if you're all on board with this, let's jump into the plan.
Excellent. So I'm going to take some time and gather information about their little tower. If I'm allowed to do that for a coin.
We can do that. Sure, you can do that for a coin.
Excellent.
What do you want to know?
I want to know, like, I want to acquire the blueprints for it, or for that building.
Okay.
And I would like to know essentially when there's going to be the least amount of resistance.
Mhm.
So I've already got the patrols figured out.
Yeah. So
So
Patrols,
you can
but
get us blueprints and stuff. That would be helpful.
yeah,
Yeah. Like ways in and out.
yeah. Like I'm looking for when their heavy hitters aren't home, not just when their patrols aren't around.
okay.
So we don't end up fighting like another boss or something like that.
Or Lissa.
Or Lissa herself, yes.
Okay. So who do you want to?
You don't want to fight the equivalent of Basho Baz again? Wasn't that amazing fun for you?
Not yet. Not yet. I haven't figured out what I want from her yet. So I'm going to consort, I guess, to figure out that information.
Sure. Who are you consorting with?
Well, I'm going to consort with Salia because she's my information broker.
Sure. Take +1 die for consulting with Saya.
Cool. Oh,
Ooh. As it turns out, ever since um, ever since Rorik died, the tower's been pretty much on lockdown, and they've done some renovations and whatnot. But it's been difficult for anyone to get in and find out. Information's been sketchy at best. So you get the blueprints, but they're a little outdated.
Okay. And like Rubik's comes up to the group and explains this as well. Like, there's no updated information. There's very little to go on in terms of structure and blueprints.
So you're saying all the usual planning stuff that you can't do, I mean, that you usually do, you can't do.
Not in this case.
So it's not looking like a great idea.
Well, that doesn't mean that I don't have no plans. These plans are just going to be less than ideal for me. They're not 100%. They might only rest at about 85%.
Oh, 85. Oh, okay. Reassuring. Good.
What part of a plan do you have? No.
And I like Croak like grabs them and is like inspecting all of the like foundational elements and structural elements very closely for no reason.
No reason.
No reason.
No reason.
No reason at all. Definitely not gonna blow up the whole tower.
Would I do that?
All right. So I guess if we're doing this, it's definitely going to be a assault mission.
Is it?
I think this is a stealth.
Me too.
Oh.
Unless
Oh.
we're killing our way through their defenses.
It depends on how manic Croak is right now. How
I mean, we're
badly.
going to infiltrate, and then we're going to blow it up whilst exfiltrating.
Whilst removing ourselves.
Yeah. I don't know. That's how I feel about this job.
I mean, I agree, but I want to
I'm
steal.
not there to murder everyone. I just want to take their stuff and get my friend back, and then maybe blow up their tower.
Sounds good.
And then
Blowing up
maybe,
their tower is for bonus points.
and
right?
then maybe
That's true.
blow up their tower is just about the best.
Bonus heat points. The sure. So what are we doing then?
Stealth?
So for
Okay.
stealth, we need a
Then-
method of entry, right?
Yeah. How you getting in?
We are getting in through underground sewers.
Okay.
I think we have to like blast through a particular like wall of some random sewer tunnel
Yeah,
that joins onto the like basement of this tower.
makes sense to
Yeah.
me.
Hope that the entrance is where you need it to be. Or
Yeah, and that they haven't like
Because we only
Close
have
off
outdated.
something.
We only have outdated blueprints. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, so there are some things that could go wrong already in this plan, which is the best kind of plan.
exactly.
I love plans where stuff might happen.
The real question is who's rolling the engagement roll? You want to do it?
I mean,
Here's a question for you, Sean.
sure.
Where does my potency from analyst come into play?
I think in the case of your information gathering, it's when dealing with any of the individual, like any of the people, like whether you're evading a guard patrol or whether you're talking to somebody.
Okay.
You have kind of a leg up on that.
Cool.
Does that sound fair?
yeah.
Seems good.
All right, so we're gonna infiltrate through a timed or like a charged explosive device into a tunnel under their nest.
Okay.
Yeah. And the hope is that that's not, they haven't renovated that basement to be like their barracks where all of their
Yeah.
There's feel like 20 armed dudes waiting for us when we blast through this wall.
Blast through the wall. There's like 6 crossbows pointed at us immediately.
Yeah.
All right, so they're, like I said initially, they're ill prepared, so that would be 4 dice. But your plans are out of date, and they're higher tier than you, so that's going to knock you down to 2 dice.
But we go up another dice because I got myself some weaving the web.
Okay. Yeah, and then
Because I did study or gather information on the target or location.
then that will put you
Nice.
up to 3 dice.
Cool. Also, what do you guys think about taking our rooks with us on this mission?
They won't. They're not fighters, right?
Nope,
So-
they don't need to fight. We're not here to fight. We're here to steal.
Yeah, so they can help us carry shit out.
Yeah.
Because we're going to try to dip into their war chest or whatever's left. And we might need distractions and other such things.
So we're bringing Milosh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milosh and friends.
Milosh and crew.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, what were all the names again?
I think we just named
we
Milosh.
only named
Yeah.
Milosh.
Right, there's Milosh the Rake and 4 others.
And 2 of them are a weird looking guy and I always forget your
Ruvian.
a
They were-
Rubian.
Yeah, 2 of them are like body doubles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
Right.
keep that in mind as we
Yeah.
do.
In case I need to get the heat off.
just shoot your body double in the head, like throttling it.
All right, and here we go. Engagement.
Here we go.
Ooh.
A 6 is good.
6 is fantastic.
It wasn't a critical, but it was pretty
It was
close.
damn close.
What's everyone's load for this?
Oh
Light.
yeah. What?
Normal.
I'm going to go normal, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Good outcome. The PCs exploit the opportunity established by the detail. There are no sudden surprises as the action begins. So, yeah, turns out, at least in this regard, the sewer entrances to the tower are still there. 1 or 2 have been blocked off, but you have locations for some other ones, and you get through without, it's a relatively quiet job. There's nobody down there patrolling. So you make it in nice and quiet.
Well, as quiet as we can when we're blasting down a door. But, it's in a basement.
Yeah.
I feel like the explosion wasn't like one of those giant screw you explosions. It was like
Oh, it's like the
chunks
shape.
of metal beams going through a brick wall or something, and we just like pushed the brick wall down.
Yeah, it's like you drill some pilot holes for this thing, and like little
Yeah.
micro explosions and dump the wall in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. That's very much what I was imagining as well.
I mean, I was just imagining us blowing like a fucking giant hole in a brick wall, but that's because when you say explosion, think smoke and fire, like a lot of it.
Not all explosions are meant to be loud.
Okay.
Most of
Not
them.
all explosions.
So, I guess if we enter through the basement, we should like make our way quietly upstairs and like look for where we're headed. Like I imagine we have some idea of where the war chest is. And I'm assuming the Croak hasn't told us that there's also a rescue mission happening here.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Why would Croak tell their friends things?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a few different clocks here. Let me get one more.
Oh, goodness.
Love clocks.
For those of you who want to see clocks, here they
For
are.
whom it tolls. Ominous.
Nothing wrong. Guards. Yeah.
Guards,
yeah.
comma guards.
Yeah, so basically,
It's not like dance, but like
I guess I should put an exclamation point.
They're coming out at halftime, guys.
guards revolution.
Well, there might be one of those here momentarily. So yeah, you were looking for money and things to steal, which is represented by the treasure clock. You were looking for Bell, which is represented by Bell's clock. And not just like looking, but also like liberating the treasure and Bell.
Mhm.
If guards fills up, your life will become overly complicated here, and for whom it tolls, just don't let that fill.
Alrighty then.
I have. Okay.
So you're in the tower. You come up through the basement. You're in a kind of like a disused storeroom. There's some like broken down boxes, like or crates, wooden crates, and there's just like kind of like a musty, moldy smell to the room. And there's a door leading. There's like a metal door leading elsewhere in the room. You come up through like a trap door in the ground.
Okay. So since there are a bunch of crates here, and we're right by the entrance, I'm going to turn to one of the gohurts and go look through these. If there's anything important, just take it, bring it back to the lair.
Will do, boss. Do any of you have like a light source or something?
Presumably, I have something.
I imagine that Croaks would be like a flare, though. You know, like
Yeah, totally. I have some little
Yeah,
flare
'cause-
that I thought. This isn't like load that I need to worry about, right? Or is it?
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean,
Okay.
unless you don't need to worry about it. So
I'm surprised there isn't like a one of the alchemical options isn't just like a light source, like a little glow stick or something.
that is kind of odd. You could do
Well, I'll
it.
have to make it once I have alchemist. But maybe I have a gadget.
Sure.
It's like a little light source, like basically a little flashlight. With like a little hand crank on the back.
hell yeah, little cranked flashlight.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so yeah, you shine your light. That's what you see in the room.
And I think it's like, yeah, it's one of those like ones that just like is mounted on your body. So it's just right here and I can just like crank it. I like crank. It's just on my shoulder.
Yeah, and the little motor runs down eventually.
So I turn to Rubik's and I go, okay, so which way?
Looking at the old blueprints, I would assume left.
Yeah, and like, is this cellar door locked that we need to get through?
You gonna go check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rusted shut.
Cool.
Okay.
Luckily, I figured out or thought that most of the stuff in our way would be locked, or at least like
Mm-hmm.
an issue for us to go through. So I brought my burglary tools with us.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do for
before you do that, it's not just locked, like it's kind of warped and rusted in place, so it's just kind of it's not locked per se. It just won't budge because it's like.
Oh, absolutely. But in this toolkit, there's a way to knock out door hinges, like to knock the pins out.
Sure.
So I would say a finesse roll to do that.
Because we also want to remove this door quietly and stealthily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not physically being quiet, so it's not I'm not sneaking. I'm just trying to
make it happen quietly instead of like wrecking it where you're just.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, yeah. You are in a good place here for the time being, so it's controlled. And it is standard effect.
Cool.
To get through this door.
You need help or no? I guess not.
I guess not. Okay. The screws are basically all stripped, and the corrosion on the hinges is too much for your tools. They just aren't up to the task.
Rogue, do you have something a little bit
stronger
to deal with this?
Of course. And yeah, I have my little tool. I have one of the, like a little like fanny pack or whatever of tools like hanging off my belt. I've got a bunch of them in a little
Sure.
satchel, so I'm just like fishing through there for various like little tiny pry bars and stuff, and I'll just wreck this door
Okay.
open.
Yeah, this is going to be a risky standard then.
Great. But I have fine wrecker tools.
Okay. That'll put you up to great effect then on this crappy door.
I'm just gonna stand around and be like, okay, hopefully this goes well.
Here we go. It's bad.
Ripperino.
Yep.
We don't like this door.
You get it off the hinges, but then the door like comes, like you're prying it off, and you're like, okay, well now we can get ready to move it. And you're about to brace the door, and it just falls forward, and there's like a boom, clattering. So I'm going to mark 2 on guards as a consequence, unless you've got something.
I'm already at 5 stress at the start of this, so
I am for once going to try to resist this effect, or can only he do it?
I would say someone else can resist it in this case. Like if you want to try and jump forward and catch the door or something like that,
Yeah,
I'm willing to negotiate this one.
I'll do it. Because I've got reflexes, so whoever acts first,
question, who acts first?
I act first.
All right, so yes, this door is like tumbling forward.
So I will resist with prowess.
Okay.
My mighty speed.
All right, so you take 2 stress as you basically like slip out of the door as it's falling and like brace yourself on the other side of it.
Okay.
And, with the assistance of the others, you lower it quietly to the ground.
Next time, let's try not to push the door over without...
Yeah, and like, we like flip the door on its side and like retreat it back into the room and leave it in the sewer.
Yeah. Like we're both kind of looking at this door and we're just like, that shouldn't have happened. This was a pull door, not a push door.
Yeah, I'm like, thank you, Cricket. Can I see those plans again?
Yeah.
Plans.
So there's
I'll mark off blueprints and I'll give it to Roke.
There's a little bit of a corridor that goes down maybe like 20 feet and then leads to a pair of stairs, and otherwise you don't notice any particular features.
So what I would love to do,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe Rubik can help me, is study these blueprints and like try to figure out where stuff is likely to be based on just like the rooms themselves and like
Okay.
shape and position and whatever,
Yeah, absolutely. And again,
and I shall keep an eye out in case anybody is coming. Keep an ear and an eye out.
Sure.
Elsewhere.
All right, you're doing that.
And I would say that we probably did this in the past. So I'm going to use one of our foresight die for this.
Okay, so you're just sort of like re-reviewing the plans.
Yeah, that we've already gone over.
Yeah. So again, at this point in time, you're still controlled. And I'd say it's going to be a standard effect here.
Okay. And I'm going to study, and Rubik can help me by taking a stress, or do I take the stress?
No one takes a stress. No one.
Or you're just giving me an extra die.
Oh,
from...
yeah. Rubik
Okay.
can also help you aside from that if they want, or if she wants. But
okay, so controlled standard. I have 1 bonus die. Here I go. I cannot roll above a 3 today.
None of us can.
all right. You realize as you're looking at it now that staircase wasn't in the it's not in the blueprints, and so
Yeah, there's like some new construction.
there's some new construction. Like the hallway should go on further.
Oh, okay, yeah, and they like closed off part of it.
It's like kind of closed off. So yeah, you'll have to like try the stairs or something like that to find out more.
I kind of nod at Cricket. I'm just like, blueprints have already changed. We need you to go up ahead and be as
Okie
quiet as
dokie. I will keep an eye out. Be right back. And I slink up ahead.
Sure.
Probably, like you said, there were some stairs. Like they lead up, or
Yeah, they lead up. So
I follow that staircase.
okay, it goes up for maybe like 10, 15 feet up, and there is a door. Yeah, that leads to.
Okay, I just want to take a sneaky look through this door.
Okay, yeah. There's like some bars on it, so you can kind of peek your head through, or well, see through them at least. You see that there is a, like there's a wall in front of you, and the hallway goes off in two directions.
Okie dokie.
And you also see that like there's some torchlight from like not directly, but there's like an electric light off in the distance. You can see some of it kind of glowing on the wall.
Okay. I'm gonna open this door
Mm-hmm.
and move into the hallway and see if I can see anything else from that vantage point that would lead me to believe one way or the other were different.
Okay. The door actually opens, and you quietly open it and you step out into the hallway. And like I said, there's off to the left. There is, so you see some light down the corridor, as if like there's a light up ahead, and then behind you, like back to the right, coming out of the door, is just darkness down
Okay.
the corridor.
So I'm gonna poke my head sort of back down the stairs and like try and eye contact with the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And like, come on, like it's fine, nobody here. Kind of hand gestures.
Yep. So I assume that us and the crew go on up.
Sure. Yeah, you all creep quietly into the hallway. So which way do you want to go?
Towards the light, I think.
Okay.
So head up towards the electric light, and I'm still ahead, like sneaking and taking a look first.
Are you going quietly?
Yeah.
So you're just going alone up ahead first?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then give me.
Prowl.
Yeah, give me. That sounds like a prowl. This will be risky standard.
Okie dokie. There you go.
Okay, you succeed. I'm going to give you 2 dots to fill. You can choose to fill either Bell or the treasure as you want.
Treasure. I don't even
Yeah.
know Bell exists.
So 2 dots in the treasure.
Hell yeah. Fill them
Yeah.
clocks, baby.
So you go on ahead and you creep up and you hear the sound of there's like the sound of shuffling, like the sound of movement up ahead, and you notice that the light is coming from a room. And you kind of poke your head around and you see that there's someone at a small desk.
Just the one person?
It's just one person and they're reading something. You can't make out like too many details of what's in the room. Looks like some shelves, like I said, the small desk, the chair they're sitting in.
I'm gonna bust into the room and club that guy over the head. Whoever's at the desk, like over the back of the head, I'm gonna give him a good thwapping with the or maybe the Eruvian like karate chop to the neck, maneuver. Because
Yeah.
I believe that's a thing.
Sure. So
I made it work one time. So I'm just
they're not facing away from you.
Yeah,
They
I'm
are,
just
like,
gonna I'm just gonna sneak up. Oh, I can't sneak in there. I would have to like.
I mean, if you come up with something, but they're not like necessarily paying attention, but they're looking out of the room, so there's no.
I'll tell you what. I will take a stress to use Actually, I will take 2 stress
Sure.
to use my Ghost Veil ability to turn invisible for a moment, get under the desk, like under eye line, sneak
Yeah.
around the rest of the desk, and then karate chop them.
This sounds wonderful. Yeah, so you're
So
gonna
I flicker momentarily from vision in the hallway. Like you guys would see, like looking down the hall as I sneak in and like look over, I would just sort of go like hazy and disappear.
Okay, so I want to point this out right now. This is the first time Rubik's has ever seen or heard of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you like see
Croak
maybe
knows,
like
but-
20, 25 feet ahead of you, like there's a corner and you see like this light coming from it, and all of a sudden Cricket just like vanishes in front of your eyes. Cricket, you're gonna go in there and jump under the desk, and then you come back up. So this is gonna be risky, but I think you're going to have great effect.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we
It's
can.
just a prowl roll to ambush this dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prowl, risky, great. Any devil's bargains?
He's not the only one in the room.
Yeah, it turns out there was another guard in the room that you did not
What
see
happened?
previously.
What happens instead is that as you karate chop him, his head hits the desk and fills a clock on guards.
Or like it's noisier than,
It's noisier than you expect, but he won't raise an alarm.
I like the one where there's another guy in the room. Let's do that
Okay.
one.
Sure.
I'm all right with that. So I'm gonna karate chop the hell out of this one guy. Bonus dice 1. Boom.
Yes. Okay. So you basically you dive in there and you come up and you're getting ready to karate chop and you turn your head and you see that there's another guard, and she's like fiddling with something up on a shelf, and she's just like looking for something, and so like then you just bring your hand down and chop the other guy. He slumps over in his chair.
Has this other person noticed me then?
This I think with
I think they kind of have to notice me.
yeah they whip around,
There's
but
like a clatter of the pen or whatever.
Yeah.
As this guy,
yeah they whip around, but you have the initiative here, so because you have
Because
reflex.
who acts first? I act first. Do they have any visible weapon?
They do have looks like there's a knife at their belt.
I am going to lunge forward, grab the knife out of the like belt, and hold it to their throat, like and threaten them to be quiet, like the whole like I'm gonna stab your throat in if you say something. Like
Okay.
like
What are you using to do this?
finesse, I think, to get the dagger out of her belt.
Get the dagger out of the belt?
That
Sure.
sounds fancy. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're trying to like slip through and get it's risky, and I think in this case it's going to be limited because it's
Limited's fine.
yeah.
Okay, I'm wondering if I can do something there. No. I can voluntarily shift this like upwards though, right? Like
If you want to make it desperate somehow.
desperate
yeah.
standard instead, like if I like maybe put a little bit too much force into this, like more deadly than a threat sort of thing. At least she might interpret it that way.
Yeah, so I mean, do you just want to like dive at her then and grab the
I mean, basically, yeah. Like
Okay.
I'm making the quickest possible motion, which
Yeah,
may
so
not
you- so
which
rather
may
than-
not be the most defensive motion.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah. So desperate standard.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I gotta re-roll from the start here. The thing about desperate is I get a bonus die. Hey! I got it.
Okay. Yeah, that was very very well done.
Man, I almost got a critical again.
Yeah, you've got her pinned to the ground and you have a knife at her throat. And meanwhile, Croak and Rubik's, you've just seen
Yeah.
Here. What do you do?
I think like the very first thing Rubik's does is looks back at Croak and gives him that like, did you just see what I saw?
Early prototype of the ghost tunnel. It's perfectly
In
on.
her gadget and makes her go through the ghost veil.
Cricket has a lot of undiscovered talents, and I'm like, like rifling through my bag and like adjusting some things. Like this is just like
A
whatever.
casual conversation for you, yeah.
Is there anything else I need to know? Can she summon demons? Is she a demon? A ghost? What?
And I like
Is
look
she
up
a
at you with
demon?
my weird like bulbous frog eyes, and I'm just like, am I a demon?
Not
And I walk.
The paranoia.
So I want to check out this dark hallway in the other direction.
Okay. So you have your light with you, so
Yeah.
you
So
turn
I'm
and
gonna, like scout it out. I'm like winding my light and getting a little like a few seconds of light and like checking stuff out. And
yeah, it goes down and there's it goes around the corner as well, kind of in the same direction, turning toward the same direction that Cricket would have gone, like the box. And but at the end of the hallway there is a door there as well, and it's another kind of one of the standard metal doors that have been in this building.
And yeah, I like gently and slowly try to open it, check if it's locked.
Okay. Yeah, this door is currently locked.
Cool. I can deal with locks, no problem. I'm gonna bust out my fine tinkering tools
Okay.
and just like boop, boop, boop. And I'm just like removing the locks from these doors when I do this.
Okay. So I think normally you would have limited effect because the Crow's Tower, they're higher tier than you, but your fine tools push you up to standard.
Okay, great.
And I think you are currently in a controlled situation here at the moment.
Well, I just feel like a consummate professional when you tell me things like that. And I roll a 6.
Okay.
So I just like quickly. I imagine these are like locks of a type that are fairly common.
Yeah.
This isn't like the vault or anything, right? So
Yeah, it's just
oh yeah,
a
with
door.
these ones you kind of do this thing.
So with standard, I'm going to give you 2 dots. Where would you like them to go?
Towards Bell, hopefully. Hopefully in this direction lies Bell or whatever, or at least this is a dead end and we can quickly figure that out and move on with our day.
You can assess whether Bell is there or not.
Yeah, exactly. So I like crack open the door a little bit and like poke my head in, sniff the air, and then like wind up my little light source a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
So the room is empty. And your light comes on and kind of glows over there, and there's like motes of dust floating through the air, but it's not like an abandoned room. It looks like it's been used recently, though there's no one here right now. So there is like a switch to turn on the light if you want. But there's again, just like in the other room, there's a desk and there's like some cabinets over to the side. And there's like a big ledger kind of laying open on the desk.
yeah, so I like flip the light on as I'm walking into the room and I want to check out this ledger.
Yeah, so the ledger, it's basically like a log of like it's kind of like a day journal of like what's gone on, and you see some stuff written down like recovered Bell. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, as one of the things.
does it reference like where they'd stashed him or whatever?
Yeah, it's on like the 4th floor, and you're like currently in the basement. There's quite a few floors to the tower, but you at least have like a floor number, so that's kind of giving you a hand here. And so you get your 2 dots, like I said.
Yeah, and I just like take the ledger with me out of the room, and I'll come back to where I left Rubik and the crew.
Yeah.
And just be like, This might be useful. And I hand it to Rubik's.
Okay.
Information, your specialty, of course.
Yes. Well, information about crew would be nice too, but we'll address that later. And Rubik's will go and make a quick study of the ledger.
Sure.
Because these
Yeah,
could have
like-
all kinds of fun details about like their
Yeah.
business dealings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Give me a risky.
Risky.
Yeah, I think risky is where we're getting to now.
Okay. Any devil's bargains?
You find
Someone
your
comes
o-
to look at the light.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got a different alternately.
What is your alternate?
You find your own name in that ledger somewhere.
Ooh, I like that one.
Oh, I love that one. I think I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. Yeah, then give me a risky.
Standard?
Hmm.
I mean, it's their own ledger.
Yeah, it's their ledger. I think it's limited in this case because I mean, unless you got something that can bump you up.
I mean,
'cause
it's likely to be coded.
yeah,
Right?
coded and whatnot. So
Just trying to think if I have
Yes.
anything.
Fine reading glasses.
yeah, it's like
No, I don't have anything
I've
like
got
that.
my
So limit.
fine code-breaking computer.
the little ring.
The decoder.
I mean, would that technically be?
We eat the same cereal.
Wait.
All right. So 4.
Okay.
Cereal.
Yeah, risky.
I mean, what I'm looking for is any big shipments of like wealth or pictures or artifacts or a weapons cache or anything like that recently came in.
Yeah, no, they've got so stored in the like stored on the second floor. There are they've got like a shipment of some weapons and also some money that they recently acquired for like processing. You know, they haven't like gone through it yet.
Okay.
And there's a note for like, you know, someone to take care of it.
It's like, yeah, like good haul from the whatever job. Like,
Yeah.
Now the name that I find in the ledger, is that my alias or my actual name?
I think it's your alias is
Okay.
what they have. And I think you notice that basically you notice your name appears several times, and you're flipping through and you're looking at it, and someone has been keeping track of your whereabouts. And not only do you see your name, but you see Salia's name a few times.
Wonderful.
And then you also like you see some mentions of her and her movements as well. And
She stayed home.
given
She stayed home
your
again.
ore,
She stayed home a third time.
I think you're going to take the level 1 harm shaken.
Resist.
I'm going to try to resist with resolve.
Okay.
Just because Rubik's doesn't take this really well, but he's still in relative control.
Stay resolute.
This would more stress him out than it would shake him.
Okay.
So, yay, nothing.
Well done. Well done.
He's just mad now, is what he is.
Stay resolute.
All right. So you've got this woman on the ground with a knife to her throat, Cricket.
Yeah.
She's just like looking at you with wide eyes and not saying anything.
I don't want to hurt you. Really. But I need you to be quiet. Like,
She nods.
okay, good. If I take this knife away from your throat, can we have a nice civil conversation? 'Cause I really don't want to have to shove it in your guts.
This
Worse, the guy behind
I
me.
think to get her to agree to that, it's gonna need to be some sort of social interaction.
Okay. I'm not good at anything but sneaking.
For what it's worth, I think you're in a controlled position.
Oh,
But that definitely sounds like you're swaying because you're
Yeah.
not like, don't say anything.
it is. It is a sway. Yeah. So controlled standard, controlled
Yeah,
limited.
controlled standard, I think, in this case, because it would normally be great, but she's a crow and she's used to violence.
Anybody got devil's bargains or like dice increasing maneuvers? Did Rubik's talk to me about how to talk to people who are under your power
Why
or
would you do that?
anything?
Not this time. Not
Okay.
this time.
No.
Devil's bargain
Okay.
is that she recognizes you because she's someone who is like in some way connected to you from your like previous life.
Or she was the girl that we completely wrecked during that raid.
Which? Oh, that girl. I like Andrew's one. Andrew's one is cool. Like I
Yeah, she
somehow know this
recognizes
girl
you.
from like my previous life.
Sure.
Like back when you were a servant or whatever. It's someone who's taken like a similar course but just fell in with the crows, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
All right. Rip.
Ooh. So
I'm gonna lose my street cred because she remembers me from when I used to scrub pots.
yeah, no, she just looks at you and she's like, "You're not so tough." And she doesn't say that loud, but she so I mean, you've still got this knife in your at her throat, but it looks like you may have to do something else to get something out of her.
carrot's not working. Use the stick.
Whistle for Rubik's.
Okay, we tried the nice way.
So she's just like she's like, "What do you?" She's like, "Shouldn't you be using that to butter some bread, Teslin?"
Hey! What? No! Shh! How do you... Do I recognize her, or is it like that she just recognizes me?
Yeah, you recognize her. Her name is Lizette, and she also worked for the
So there's this like...
Kellis family.
There's this like, hey, wait, what the fuck? And then I like reach up with my other hand and like pull down her like, you know, mask or whatever, like bandana.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's that? Okay, now I really don't want to stab you. You
She's
know,
like-
like it's gonna be really difficult to do that if I have
She's
to.
like, "What are you doing here?"
Treasure.
Well, if you joined the gang,
No, but I mean like your treasure, like the gang treasure. I'm here for that.
she's like, "You join us, you can get a part of it."
Yeah, but I could get it all by
I
taking
doubt-
it,
I doubt that.
like right now.
She's like,
Has this
"You're-"
conversation gone on too long? I think maybe I've held you at knife point for too long. The others would probably be a little bit annoyed with me, so you know what? Whack!
Okay. I think in this case you just you knock her out, but you don't get any information out of her.
Okay.
Um
Is this knife point conversation gone on too
Yeah,
long?
I think-
Asking
think
the person
as-
at knife point.
it's going on a little too long.
Am I starting to lose my threatening demeanor? Never mind.
Whack. All right, so yeah, you can all sort of consolidate with what you've got now. I guess the rest of you come forward, and you see like
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to
with-
search the room a little bit, like in case. Is there another way out of this room, or is it just here? Like,
it's just here. It's just like a side office kind of deal.
is there any valuables on a quick inspection, like in the drawers, or like on the table, or
Yeah, if you want to give me like a survey or a study or something.
Sure, I'll do
along those
I'll do a
lines.
study. Why not? Any particular danger to this study?
I don't think there's I don't think you're in a control position because of time pressure at this point.
Okay, so
but,
risky standard.
Risky but standard, yeah.
4.
4. Okay, you do, but there's a complication. So yeah, you find some valuables. I'm going to yeah, so I'm going to give you you get 2 dots. I guess you want to put them toward treasure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll just say that's part of the eventual take, that if you fill this clock,
Okay,
so
cool.
you get like a few, like they have some valuable items on
Like there's like a couple of
there's some-
coins and like
yeah, there's some
like
stuff
a
in the desk.
necklace and like
Yeah.
a
And there's more
nice
information in
inkwell.
this room too,
Oh,
right?
did
There's
my
what?
There's information here as well. Like this was also a
Yes,
bookkeeping.
there's
Maybe
also
there's like clues to where
there's
stuff is.
potentially information, yeah, but Cricket was looking for valuables specifically.
I was.
quick question: did my study roll yield any dots in that ledger, or no?
Oh yes, it should have. Let me go look at your. It was limited, so you get 1 dot. Boop. There we go. All right, you're making good progress towards your goal of finding the treasure and getting out of here.
So I turned to Croak, and like I'm holding the ledger white knuckled right now, but it's closed.
Okay.
Yep.
And he's like, Rubik turns to him. He's like, how many explosives did you bring?
Oh, just enough for the door.
And the tower?
That wasn't in the plan, Rubik's.
How long would it take us to come back here and take down this tower?
You're behaving very irrationally with these kinds of talkings. Just focus on what we're doing here, okay? We can't risk exposure this early in the job.
Not yet. And he he kind of like goes into the room and looks for more information, whether it's additional ledgers or other things to feed his paranoia.
I look at Rubik's when he enters, and say to him, "These two are both still alive, so don't none of the like."
None of the murder we're so known for.
As long as they stay down, then we don't need to worry about it.
All right, so you want to look for some.
I'd rather not call attention.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. We don't want
crows.
We don't want the actual crows to come visiting the crows, because then we have to deal with the spirit wardens, and then we get that whole awkward like everybody's dead thing. And why?
Make sure they are tied up and gagged. Then.
Do you have rope? I didn't bring rope.
Rubik's dead. He has climbing gear.
Okay. So I tie them both up then.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll mark that on your load. You're going to go ahead and tie them up.
Yeah, and I kind of like sheepishly come into the room while you two are having this conversation, and then like wait for a lull in it, and then kind of just. So there might be one other complication with this job, and reason we would want to limit our exposure, as I was saying earlier.
What?
Well, and I like you're holding that ledger still, and I just kind of like peel it open and like to a dog-eared page and just point at a name on a list, and it's just like, captured Bell. He's in the like so and so.
Do we know of Bell?
Yeah, because he was gonna
from that like one
with us for a bit, and they've like met you.
Oh, so like Rubik's essentially has brushed it off then.
Yeah, and so I like point to this thing on the ledger that I had found, and I had like dog-eared the page. Just like my friend Bell, they're here.
Cricket like visibly face palms like, oh, the kid, we can't leave the kid.
If you don't agree to rescue them, I would be very upset.
I said we couldn't leave the kid. If we leave the kid, he'll tell them all about everything.
I'm looking at Rubik's because I know that Rubik's is just like,
Cricket is like moaning and groaning about the fact that there's this extra thing she has to do now.
I mean, I appreciate that it's I didn't know until I read the ledger. But...
You lying fuck.
Oh, I almost want to ask for a sway roll on that.
I will happily roll sway.
Can we do that? And whatever
Um,
you roll, there's no defense for me, but whatever you roll is the level of effect that you have.
Sure, and just do it straight up like as if it were downtime. So like just
Okay.
1 to 3 is like small effect, and 4 or 5 is like decent effect.
Yeah, I'm so bad at swaying people.
I think that's what's gonna. Oh,
I got a
Oh,
1.
oh no!
I do not do a very good job of convincing you.
That you had no idea.
That either it's like, pick and choose where you want to find holes in this because it's all bullshit, right?
Like I feel like the way that you've worded this is Rubik's. Like you can see the gears turning really quickly. He's just like, this is why we're here, isn't it?
Well, there are things to steal. I wasn't
We came here
lying.
for a kid.
If we can get rich while we're at it, I hardly see the harm. And besides, these people do need to get out of our way. And this is a good way to accomplish that.
Yeah.
Rubik's just like goes completely silent.
I knew you would
studies
react
the
like this.
room. He doesn't say anything. Like he doesn't say yes, he doesn't say no.
Okay, see, and like while you're quiet, I'm doing the whole like talking enough for both of us kind of thing. Like,
Mhm.
Casey, I don't really think this is so much of a bad thing because basically we would have had to come get the kid anyway because he knows a lot about Croak, at least,
The gang is restless outside.
and that
Bell
would...
knows where the hideout is. They were going to come stay at the hideout, as you may recall, I mentioned.
Don't think Rubik's was there for that. I think he was out. I think he only told.
I only told Cricket. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was strategic. So anyways,
What?
look, all we need to do is go to the 4th floor where they're being kept, and then we can get out of here.
While the rest of this conversation is happening, I'm busy forking over like the necklace and the nice inkwell and the several coins to like the rooks who are with us. You know, like
They
To
look
keep
at
the
it.
crew happy.
Yeah. Milo's just like, this is pretty good.
yeah, and there's only gonna be more. We apparently there's like a whole room. You know.
Look, Rubik,
We're going to have a long talk, but we're going to do this
I promise.
when we have time. End of discussion.
I
Let's
promise I'll make it up to you.
job.
So
I'm looking at Croak like, you make it up to him, but I just.
what are you
Yeah,
doing
I
to
just
get up
like
to the
smile
first
at you.
floor?
See, like with Cricket though, it's the like, yeah, you obviously know that you're going to like. There's going to be some love in between you two. With Rubik's, it's like, I gotta do something, otherwise he's going to stab me 16 times in my bed tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's your coworker who's your friend, and then there's the manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay, so
I
let's-
want to like move us to be like sneaking up to their like stockade essentially.
So how about we grab a break now while we move on to the next part of our daring rescue / treasure hunt / maybe kill crows / fucking I don't know other shit, I guess, like
We'll see.
Or the story of how Croak got kicked out of the gang.
yeah, the Croak story. All right, so we'll be back with some more Blades in the Dark in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere, everybody.